Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. And today I'm going to go my review of the Royal Rumble 1991. Starting off the evening, we'll go to our first match of the night. It is the Rockers versus the Orient Express. I thought it was an okay opening matchup for Royal Rumble 1991. Back and forth matchup between the Rockers and the Orient Express, with the Rockers keeping the pace of the match. Rockers then hit a double drop kick on Orient Express, setting them outside of the ring. But Marty ends up hitting a roll-up, pins for the 3, and your winners of the match are the Rockers. Hats off to the Rockers for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. It is the Barbarian versus Bossman. Again, I thought it was an okay matchup. Back and forth matchup between both Barbarian and Bossman, with Barbarian keeping the pace of the match. Bossman hits a step-up enziguri on Barbarian. Bossman then hits a Bossman slam on the Barbarian for a near fall. Barbarian then gets up, hits a devastating pile driver on the Bossman in the middle of the ring. Barbarian then goes for a crossbody, but Bossman ends up turning it into a roll-up, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match is the Big Bossman. Hats off to the Big Bossman for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night as well. It is for the WWE Championship. It is the Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter. I thought it was a good match. Back and forth matchup between Ultimate Warrior and Sergeant Slaughter, with Warrior keeping the pace of the match. Sensational Sherry is here. Warrior then runs after Sherry, but Randy ends up attacking Warrior up the ramp. Slaughter then applies a camel clutch in the ring. Warrior breaks the hold. Warrior then hits a shoulder tackle on Sergeant Slaughter. Sherry then comes back down to the ring. Warrior then hits a press slam on Sherry, sending her to the outside, over the top rope to Randy Savage on the outside. Randy then hits Ultimate Warrior with the scepter. Sergeant Slaughter capitalizes on this, goes for the cover, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match, and at that time, new WWE Champion, is Sergeant Slaughter. Hats off to Sergeant Slaughter for getting the win in that matchup. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night as well. It is Koko B. Ware versus the Mountie. I thought it was an okay matchup. Back and forth matchup between both Koko B. Ware and the Mountie, with the Mountie keeping the pace of the match. Koko then hits a dropkick on the Mountie, but Mountie ultimately hits the finish on Koko B. Ware, pins for the 3, and your winner of the match is the Mountie. Hats off to the Mountie for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night as well. It is Dusty and Dustin Rhodes versus Ted DiBiase and Virgil. I thought this was a good matchup. Back and forth matchup between both teams, with the Rhodes keeping the pace of the match. But Ted DiBiase hits a roll-up, pins for the 3, and your winners of the match are Ted DiBiase and Virgil. Hats off to Ted DiBiase and Virgil for getting the win in this matchup. Moving on from that, we go into our next match of the night. It is the main event of Royal Rumble 1991. It is the Royal Rumble matchup. A couple of things I'm going to say about the Royal Rumble. Number one, Bret Hart was the first entrant into this matchup. Dino Bravo was the second entrant of this match. The final 2 competitors in the Royal Rumble were Earthquake and Hulk Hogan. Hogan ends up eliminating the Earthquake, and your winner of the match is Hulk Hogan. Hats off to Hulk Hogan for getting the win in this matchup. Couple of things I'm going to say about Royal Rumble 1991, man, before I get out of here. In my honest opinion, I thought Royal Rumble 1991 was trash. In my honest opinion, man, the way they booked the Royal Rumble 1991 was horrible. In my honest opinion, I mean, you had the Rockers versus the Orient Express, which honestly, I don't think a lot of people remember the Orient Express. Barbarian versus Bossman was a decent match. Ultimate Warrior versus Sergeant Slaughter was decent. But Koko B. Ware versus the Mountie, I could have done without. And it was great to see Dustin Rhodes and Dusty teaming up against Ted DiBiase and Virgil. It was a decent match. But the Royal Rumble itself just seemed lackluster, in my honest opinion, man. So if I had to give Royal Rumble 1991 a rating from 1 out of 10, I'm going to give it a solid 4 at best, man. You know, I'm not going to say it was the worst Royal Rumble of all time, but it definitely wasn't the best Rumble either. But yeah, I'm going to have to give Royal Rumble 1991 a solid 4 at best. So this is my review of the Royal Rumble 1991. I hope you guys are out there staying safe. Be careful, and remember, stay classic. Peace.